Okay, everybody wanted a video to see how I solder. You can't see me, but 70% alcohol. You can buy it from anywhere you want. This is a very old roll of solder, but this is actually 60/40. I use water flow flux for things like copper fittings and things like that on hot water heaters. It's actually the best flux you can buy. Pin solder, brass brush only. You don't want a stainless steel one to clean your tips because you'll wear them out and destroy them. Wire strippers and an extra pair of wire strippers, wire cutters, and I got, this is just any old heat shrink, nothing special, just it's actually from Napa. First thing you do is, before you start, the first thing you always do is you clean your tip really well. Mine's about worn out, but you clean it really well, touch the tip in the flux, you're done. That's clean and ready to go. This is actually 16 gauge copper core wire. I'm just going to take any old piece off, as you can see. Regular wire. I'm going to strip both ends. There's a piece there, it's about 1/4 of an inch. About 1/4 of an inch, both sides. I'm going to twist both sides really well, like so. You can use your fingers or whatever. Take your flux, dip the entire copper part only. Entire copper part only. If you don't have enough flux left, like I don't, you can take your fingers and make sure that you get all of it all the way around the copper. Okay, make sure you have a shop towel here. Almost out of those two, okay? So now, I'm going to take my soldering gun. I'm not going to heat this up like everybody seems to think. Take my soldering gun, I'm going to make sure it's hot enough. I'm going to melt just enough on my tip, just enough of the solder to see this. Now if you watch closely, it will automatically adhere. See, it's all the way around perfectly. Taking a little bit more, touch it to the other side. The flux will suck it around the copper and it will make a perfect solder every time. Okay, I'm actually going to grab something else really quick. Everybody knows what this is. Everybody should have one. If they don't, I would suggest you get one. This holds your wire so you can do both sides. I'm actually just going to cut this in half so I can use it again. We're going to pretend that this is a hot wire to your stator. You can use, I use one side and I hold the other. Okay. Not going to dip it in flux or anything, because if you do, you'll weaken the solder. You're going to get a little bit more solder. You're going to take both pieces of wire, make sure that they're straight, because it makes it easier solder. You only have just enough on the tip, as you can see, to make good solder. Put the two together, get them a little warm. Oops. Blow on it till it's cold. Okay. My cord's caught, sorry. Let me do this the right way, sorry. Okay. That is already cold to the touch, as you can see. And as you can see, that will never break, no matter what you do, and it is a perfectly liquefied solder. Second, you take your rubbing alcohol. Take any old towel, make you a circle of it, clean that connection. You want all the foreign debris off of it, off the wires and all. It's nice and clean. Let me go grab my lighter real fast, I apologize. Okay, next, heat shrink. And you can see it's actually pretty good size. It will shrink all the way down, I wouldn't worry. You're gonna put your heat shrink. What I do is I take the size up and I look at it, I place my fingers where I want it to stop so I know it's dead center. It stops. Take your lighter, torch, whatever you want to do. Actually, I just bought a new one just for this. Okay, we're going to heat it up and we're going to rotate. We're not going to get it stupid hot, because if you do, you'll destroy it. It'll go all the way around like you're roasting a pig. Okay, get nice and warm. No char marks. Once again, you're going to take your towel in a new spot with some rubbing alcohol. You're going to clean that. And everybody says, well, why would I want to clean that? Okay, now that it's done and it's good, still pliable, but the center of that, and this itself, the solder, the heat shrink and all, has hardened. Okay, it is pliable, but you notice the heat shrink does not bend. It will protect this whole section right here, and you'll never, ever get that apart. That is solid. So if anybody has any questions, or they can PM me, I can do a closer video. Hopefully this one's clear. But as you can see, that is perfectly together. There's no spikes on the sides, no nothing. If you happen to solder together and you get a little couple spikes out to the sides, they make a smaller pair that are called, I think they're called wire clips, but they're very small. You want to try to get as smooth as possible, so if you have to clip a little bit off each side to make sure that your heat shrink does not pierce, that's a good idea. So that's everything. As you can see, it's very easy as long as you use flux and solder together, and it does not take a lot of heat. If you overheat a wire, which most of you have already said in the conversation, if you overheat the inside of this wire by holding it on there too long, you actually weaken the connections inside the wire. If you ever soldered it and it seems like it breaks right where at the beginning of the solder where you soldered it together, it's because you got it too hot. This will not break. I don't care how many times I twist and pull, that is not going to break. Hope you enjoyed. I can make more videos if you need any other questions. I could teach you how to do ohm meters, anything else. Thanks.